Hi, instructional design students. I've had a couple of questions about a couple of the assignments, and so I wanted to give you a heads up. First of all, I want to say I will be grading assignments 1 and 2 today. I'm really sorry that I'm a week behind in getting all this done. But one of the questions that I had was on assignment 3. And so I wanted to be sure that this was clear in terms of what I'm looking for here. Especially when, some of you are, I think that this class is instructional design, the intro to instructional design. And so many of you are instructional designers or headed that direction and not necessarily in the classroom. And yet I think one of the things that I want you to be aware of is the whole area of just how to create and design instruction, and what the people are thinking about that either are going to be your trainees or the people that you're creating this instruction for. And so that's why I threw in this assignment. I didn't throw it in, but this is why I included the empathy framework and visual learning assignment, because I think that making learning visual is really crucial to especially web-based instruction. And so even if you're a trainer and you're standing in front of someone, what speaks the most loudly, text on the screen or just more visual learning? And so what I wanted to do is give you that opportunity to create visual learning, and the whole thing is called visual thinking. It's also known as visual spatial learning or picture thinking, as it was stated here. And this quote says it's been described as seeing words as a series of pictures. It's common in approximately 60 to 65% of the general population. And one of the things I can tell you is I really learn best from visual. And I think that seeing all the infographics that are out there now and having students or whoever they are creating those infographics or just some sort of a mind mapping or mind thinking really helps. I think it helps you get your thoughts together. And I think one of the things I've always been bad at is creating outlines. And so when I started doing things like create a literature map for a research project where I could see where things were going, it really made a lot more sense to be able to put my words together then when I had that. So that's kind of the background of this. So one of the things you have a final project, and so for that final project I've asked you to create a visual for it to explain something related to your project, and then also to create an assignment for your audience that would include them creating a visual. And the reason I do that is because I think getting tools and devices into the hands of the people that you're working with is really helpful. So what kind of training really works best today? So if you're a corporate trainer, is it best to do your training and just have them sit and be lectured to, kind of like in the past? Probably not. So you want them to be doing something to get that information that they need. So that's why I included this assignment. And then in putting it all together, there's a budgeting assignment, and that budgeting assignment is for the purpose of those of you who will be in a situation of creating an instructional design project that maybe you'll never use this, but maybe you'll need it to learn about how to help your subject matter experts, or it's a project that you're all the subject matter experts, but you have to create that budget for this project to see if it could be funded or not. And so that gives you just a little bit of information on that. And then the final project is creating a unit of instruction. Again, this is in terms of an instructional designer. How do you put it together? Who's your audience? what is your level of training that's needed? What are the objectives of the project? Objectives are really difficult to write and yet important to understand. Make sure those objectives are action words. And in fact, you can even look up instructional design objectives or objectives for creating an assignment or something like that, and you can find the verbs that are best to use, because you want those objectives to be measurable. You want to be able to walk away and say, yes, I met those objectives, or my audience or students met the objective. Then talk about how you will meet the objectives and the desired outcomes. And, like I said, this could be in a Google Doc or something as you're defining the project. Or you can put it in a video, a screencast-o-matic. So then the second part of that is the steps. So you want the goals for the project. I'd like you to develop a storyboard in any format and any tool, and we've already looked at storyboards in here. So use whatever would make sense to you. And storyboard, remember, is just kind of looking at the project, mapping it, however that would work for you. Who are the content experts you'll work with, the SMEs, the subject matter experts, and talk about how you'll communicate with them. Maybe fictitious at this time, but talk about how you would relate to these people. The fourth part is to include your visual from assignment 3, even if it doesn't fit your final project. And it doesn't have to, because sometimes by the time you get to assignment 5, it changes. And then create a budget for your project. And some of that you can use from assignment 4. And then what do you participate will you be your return on investment? And that would be an important one to include as well. And include your understanding by design paper as well. Your final product can be any format that's viewable by the rest of us. Contact me if you're in doubt, but you can use presentation, Prezi, emails, whatever, screencast-o-matic, but post that in the G+ community. So I hope that helps clarify a little bit. Again, I will go back and take a look at your assignment 1 and 2 for sure, and then and that's the UD assignment that I was talking about in assignment 5. So enjoy. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I will get back with you. So take care. Bye-bye.